introduce because it will be echo if both we on our mic.
Okay, okay. So, camera. So, is okay. So, some problem.
Yes, sir.
So, good morning once again, dear participants. Our next presentation is from Professor C. Devendiran. He is head department of social works in Mizoram University. He is considered a good researcher. I have having a lot of experiences with him attending different board of studies and pre-submission and seminars, and his suggestions used to be very, very effective. Professor Devendiran, are you there? Your photo is freeze.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, but your photo is not moving.
Visible?
So Professor Devendiran is going to talk about teaching skills and techniques and experimental sharing. His teaching experience is nearly 25 years. So let's learn from him what should be the technique of teaching to reach to the students properly. Professor Devendiran, now time is yours. You may start sharing your screen. Your photo is freezing, sir.
Sir, he has some internet issue. Now he will going to present from my system within.
Okay, 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 it's fine.
Yeah, so
Technical support now. Good morning to all. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, audible, sir.
First of all, thank you so much, Professor Bartendus, for giving a wonderful introduction about me. I hope so. The participants are from different background. I'm very happy to self-introduce myself a little more because it is about sharing only. So it is a good privilege for me to tell about me. I'm so happy. Usually, people are so happy to share about themselves. So I'm not that much happy. Anyhow, to say something about the teaching experience sharing, and it would be very, very useful as I hope with that positive energy, I could begin my session. So first of all, I thank you so much for giving this wonderful chance to the HRDC director, and also beyond that, the Vice Chancellor, sir, and then the coordinators, and even the Deputy Director of HRDC, Dr. Manoj Kumar Verma, and the wonderfully coordinating Professor Batandu, sir. Thank you so much. And let me start before going to this particular session. I'm up to 1 o'clock now, sir. My session is?
Yeah, 1 o'clock.
So at 12:50, I can finish it. By 10 minutes, we will have a discussion time. Accordingly, we will go. So now, before going to this particular PPT, let us have one small video clipping that is regarding our own, because online, when we go for online, attention is very much less. These are all some of the challenges I would like to talk to you in my own session. So that now I would like to share the video. यहाँ से ये बंद कर
The sound is there, but video is not there. Blank screen.
Sir?
Black screen only. Sound is coming, but not video.
Okay.
But from where? Sir, this is visible.
Yes, screen is visible. Now 5 files are visible. When you are playing video, black screen is coming with sound. Audio is there, but visuals are not there. Run with.
Same, sir.
Yeah, blank screen only. Black.
Okay, I think some problem. Maybe that video software is not
So
in my
we can
hand.
put it in the desktop, then we'll try.
Once upon a time, there was a king
Close it that one.
with
Sir?
4 wives. One day,
It is
the
coming.
king
No, still black screen only.
was on his
Right click and use some other software. Right click and check. Open with. Same thing.
Coming, sir.
Black screen only. Right click, open with, go to open with. Click. VLC, go to VLC.
PLC media player.
No video.
No video.
No, nothing is coming, not even screen. Or minimize your screen, this screen. No, still black screen only.
I think, sir, directly you go for PPT.
Okay, fine. No need to use this video technology. So, huh?
Sir, 50 is visible.
No, not yet.
Close it everything.
Yes, now visible.
Maximize.
Yes, now is fine. Full screen.
So
Learning objectives.
fine. So, sorry for the interruption because of some, I want to go with a little video clipping for 2 minutes, then we will start the session I was thinking. Fine, let it be, no problem. These are all some of the challenges we have to face during this connectivity is not good. Maybe fine. So first of all, I would like to introduce in terms of as a teacher. First of all, I would like to tell I am a teacher. Teacher is the best thing which we want to learn. So I finished my MSW in the year 1998. As soon as I finished my MSW, immediately I joined as a program coordinator in my own institution where I studied my graduated MSW, that is in Tamil Nadu. The name of the institution is Sacred Heart College, Tirupattur, which is now it is a district near Vellore it is. So in that institution, I worked as soon as I finished my MSW 19 as a coordinator, program coordinator for 1 year. That is a program for the UG students, like for extracurricular activities like NSS, NCC, and in that way, that is a separate program called BIRD, BIRD, Bosco Integrated Rural Development Program project for. This is a UG students. I have to conduct training program for them regarding their communication skills and their personality development skills. So 1 year I was worked after. As soon as I was working, got a job in my own institution in a FIP post, FIP faculty implement program, for as an assistant professor. Now it is the term called assistant professor. By the time it was lecturer. So one of my own faculty members, my own teacher, he left for doctoral studies by the time I completed my net examination also. So I joined, and with that started my career. In the initial stage, how we were, because in this particular session, teaching skills and techniques and experiential sharing, EA should be capital, it is wrong. I was a little checking. So what happened then, slowly I was thinking teaching is now what we were used in those days, it is outdated now. So why not, from my experience, how this young teachers, the orientation program, those who are the participants, inducted, some of them may be inducted in their university or in their college first, and then they should know certain things. With my little experience, I would like to share, and it is like a in experiential sharing, and even because according to the former president of India, Dr. Radhakrishnan, he said that which makes a best teacher, experience makes the best teacher. So that particular quote came in my mind. So every day we are learning, and every day we are adopting a new situation, and also adhering to this particular cultural context. And in that way, how the teaching is it's an art, it is a skill. We use different skills to the mindset of today's young generation. So in that way, so the learning objectives of this particular session is to understand the concept of youth, because we are going to deal with different type of youth. In that way, let us understand them first. So that is the reason this is one of the objectives I put it in this session, in this particular session. Let us understand them. Who are they? Who is a youth? And what are they are, and what are their characteristics? And let us understand thoroughly, because if you do not have proper understanding about the young generation today, it is very difficult for us to deal with them or to facilitate them, I could say. Let us move on to the second objective, to know about the different types of generations by age. So let us see the different types of generations. We, now we are talking about even if our own parent, we as a parents, we are sometimes there is a difference of opinion with our own children. They may say immediately generation gap. Let us see what is that generation, which generation they belong to, and what their characteristics. So these things, it is mandatory to understand the young assistant professors or the participants who are here. Therefore, I put it this particular objective. And third objective is to understand the different methods of teaching aids and the skills from traditional to modern. So now, so much of teaching aids. Today, I am sitting and talking with you because of this technology, I could say. Technology is the buzzword everywhere, ICT, technology. Today we are connecting with this technology. There are so many platforms are there to teach, to equip ourselves. And those days, everyone depending on the teacher. Now no need to depend on teacher. They have to depend on instead of teacher, they have to depend on their facilitators. That is the way the new teaching curriculum techniques are also dealt with. So let us move on to the another important objective, the last, to adapt the new skills for next generation. Again, here there is also a spelling error. Maybe save did not save. Kindly bear with me. And while giving the PPT to the HRDC section, I will correct all those things and I will give it to you. Kindly bear with me, friends. Now let's move on to the another C. So first objective I told about the youth. So here, youth, we may think that who is a youth? Youth means comes in our mind immediately. He is a young and energetic and vibrant and a very dynamic person and having a lot of energy. You can see the picture, by looking the picture, you can see easily how they are jumping, yelling. Today also our university is having their own sports week, even though it is not a right time, you could say, but it is very important for them. It is also one of the important activities. Through that, they learn many things. Through they sharing with each other, they learn many things. In that context, youth is very, very important. And India is also the youthful nation, we could say. Almost 1/3 of the population comprises of youth. When we look at the demographic dividend and all, almost the median age is 29 years, 27, 29 years, 28 to 29. So in that way, it is a very productive and potential age to use. That is what India is more concentrating on youth development activities and youth related programs for them to channelize their energy in a right way for skill development activities. And that is the reason it is very essential for us to understand the concept of concepts of youth. So there are various concepts of youth. This is my outline of the presentation. Various concepts we will see, and then types and classifications of youth, let us see. And finally, we will go to the understanding of youth, and again we move on to the our own stages. So when we look at the different stages of youth is one of the stages of a human lifespan. We could say it is one of the important stages, very crucial stage, stages of psychosocial development, stages of human growth and development. So, the Greek philosopher Aristotle, very famous Aristotle, the Socrates, the student of Socrates. And so they mentioned in the Greek mythology, in the Greek philosophy, there were only 3 stages. That is what we call, first one is childhood, manhood, and old age. Only 3 stages were there those days. We could not find where is yearly the youthhood. That was not there, not all there. So which shows that during that particular time, this much of technology, this much of studying each and every section, each and every segment was not there. For example, when you go to do a research, they nowadays, for eyes means separate person, the specialist is there on only looking after the eye. For ophthalmologist is there, and gynecologist, like this separate sections are there. For those days, even psychological, that is the time it was developing. So Erik Erikson, he was also another Sigmund Freud's idea. He was a student of Sigmund Freud. In Erikson 1967, he was mentioning about 8 stages, which we can see the psychosocial development stages. From those who are from psychology department or from psychology discipline, they know that there are 8 stages he was mentioning. In that, which you look at infant stage, and then toddlers, and there are one by one the stages. Each and every stage has got its own their own opposite wise type of relationship. It was mentioned. I don't want to take all these things to you, just I'm highlighting you, since you are all well aware of these things, and how the youth is very important in each stage. That's what I want to mention you, to highlight you. And Elizabeth Hurlock, again in 1980, she was mentioning about 10 stages of human lifespan. So those things we will see in detail little, because to understand what's where the youthhood falls. And recently, 2005, Jairam, he was also mentioning, he was another sociologist. He was talking about the youth 3 stages. Let us see what are those 3 stages in this PPT. So let us see the infancy stage. So Erikson and Hurlock, how their classifications, let us see in detail, and we will understand the importance of each stage. I hope it is very, very essential for everyone to understand. So infancy is the stage, and talking from infancy and early childhood, and then we have preschool age. This is Erikson's classifications: school age and adolescence and youthhood, adulthood, and senescence. So you see here 8 stages Erikson was mentioning: infancy, infant, and then early childhood, preschool age, before school, going to school, there is a pre-LKG or LKG, UKG, all those kindergartens. School age starts from 6 age in India. And adolescence starts from, according to the definition, we have that is what is called from 14 to 18 years, according to UN definition also says, and WHO definition also says youthhood. But here the youthhood stages he was highlighting, youthhood, adulthood, and senescence. So Erickson's, and when we look at the Elizabeth Hurlock's classification, she mentions that beyond little more 3 more stages. She was highlighting prenatal stage. Prenatal stage is called a fetus stage. The baby was under the womb of the mother starting from 0 to 280 days. 0 to 280 days. That particular period is called prenatal period. When anything, if you want to study, if you split and study, you can easily understand prenatal. Pre plus natal is equal to prenatal. So pre means before. Natal from navel, it comes from navel, before navel cut. So that is what is called fetus stage, unborn baby which is in the mother's womb. So that particular period is called a perinatal period. Infancy is the stage from the 0 to 2 weeks, 14 days, 0 to 14 days, as soon as which means when we look at prenatal stage, 9 months plus 10 days, and that is 9 3s are 27 plus 10, 280 days. That's our ups and downs will be there. That's all. So infancy stage is from baby born, from that day onwards till 14 days. That is till the umbilical cord cut, from the umbilical cord cut. Next, up to 14 days, the umbilical cord cut, that dried up and it will fall down. That particular stage is called infancy stage, according to Elizabeth Hurlock's classification. Babyhood starts from 2 weeks to 2 years. When we say babyhood, the baby, especially when you look at, according to the baby means, it starts from 2 weeks to, that is from 14 days to 2 years. That is what the babyhood definition about the classification by developmental psychologist Elizabeth Hurlock says. And we move on to another early childhood. Early childhood starts from 2 years to 6 years. 2 years to 6 years. And that is what early childhood. Late childhood is another one, is 6 years to 13 years or 12 years, up to 12 years. That is called late childhood. And puberty, it is one of the important stages where only 1 year, from 13 to 14 years or 12 to 13 years. It depends upon the classification. And that is what we call it pre-adolescence. Before adolescent stage is otherwise called puberty. So puber just means in Latin to grow, meaning to grow. So which means the growing, it is not to grow only. It is not completely grown. For a male and female, when we look at it, it is a grown to grow, which means the estrogen or progesterone, what all the hormones, whichever all the hormones are getting up, the primary sex organs and secondary sex organs getting up. So in that it is getting growing. It is not grown. We cannot say like that. So that is what it is, the stage. It's a blooming stage, I could say, blooming, not completely blown. And therefore next comes, it is a very crucial time. That is only 1 year period. It is that is what from 14 to, that is 12 to 13 years. 12 to 13 years are depending upon the classifications. We can see that is roughly, that is the classification. Adolescence from 14 to 18 years, 14 to 18 years, adolescence. To become, adolescence means to become, adolescere, again it has come from Latin word. Then we come to the early adulthood. So from 18 to 40 years are adulthood. Then which means late adulthood, 40 to 60 years are called, I'm in the late adulthood stage now. You can calculate which age you are, which stage you are, you can calculate by yourself. We come to the last stage, the 10th stages, senescence, or otherwise it is called old age. So these things, why I am telling, we were discussing these stages. Here there is no specifically the youthhood, whereas in Erickson and Hurlock, Hurlock is not mentioning. She mentioned only the adolescent stage, whereas Erickson a youthhood, but not specifically where it starts, how it goes. So therefore, Jairam and another person comes, puberty and pre-adolescence. So puberty is a stage of biological transition from childhood to adulthood. So which means it's a transition stage, moving from one stage to another stage, moving from one phase to another phase. So entering to another phase, like a threshold of, we can say threshold of their stages entering in. So like you adolescents are entering in one stage jump, you can see the picture. Types of basic emotion starts from there. That is what we would like to study here. Emotions. Youth means they have a lot of emotions. Sometimes they will be happy, sometimes they will be sad, sometimes they have a fear. Sometimes you can see those who enter into the college from the +2, then they may have fear. No, they are earlier they were all completely dependent with their parents. Once they come, earlier when they were in the school, they were having their own uniform, which means everybody, when they have an institution, whatever the institution tells, they have to adhere, and according to the thing, they have to depend on their parents. In that context only they are growing up. And once they come to the college or any other place, maybe it may be a professional course or it may be a then what happens immediately, the outlook of the youth or the particular person changes. So that's what adolescence is after 18 years getting over, he enters into the stage, coming to the becoming an adult, coming into the adult. Then his outlook changes. Once he comes to the college, he may be sitting in front of the college parapet wall, and then he will compound wall, or accordingly he will start smoking his emotions, and he will have his own no uniform for him. He will be very having his own choice to wear his own clothes. So in that way, no, freedom comes, little freedom comes. Therefore, we have to understand those type of things for the youth. What is their mindset? So adolescence and early adulthood, he was mentioning, and the youth is, therefore, when you look at who is a youth, according to Erickson, he says that youth is neither a childhood nor an adult. He is in between. We cannot consider him as an adult, or we cannot consider him a child. So therefore, he is in between, hanging here and there. He cannot say that I am a complete adult. I'm, because even say, for example, when they in a family, you can see that if you're going to college, the father may say, you don't think that you're still there is no proper recognition, but he wants to show his own that I am now adult. Give me independence, freedom for me. This type of emotions or this type of sharings you can see in the thing. So that is what first of all we have to understand them. So it is neither a childhood nor an adulthood. At the same time, it is a preparing and attaining maturity, or attaining maturity. Is not completely attained maturity. That's what he's a student. We have to bear for him. If he does any mistake, we have to bear for him. We have to understand him. So that is the reason we should nowadays, you know, we have to be very cautious. We have to be very careful dealing with children, dealing with youth, because a lot of technology, media exposure they have, immediately they react. Those days I belong to X generation, so we will see those generations and accordingly how we reacted. So in that way we have to see. So preparing or attaining maturity. So this is what we have to understand. He is still preparing, continuous process. It is a process of he is attaining maturity. He is not attained maturity. He is not prepared to that particular stage. Therefore, it is our bounden duty to understand. And apart from that, they are coming from different backgrounds as well. So let us see some of the other understanding, the classifications of youth. Rosenberg in 1972, she was classifying the youth quite old, adolescent and young adult. Adolescent and young adult, that is from 14 to 18 years, and 18 and above, up to 40 years. And Gore, MS Gore, was another sociologist, very famous sociologist, 1977, adolescent and later youth. He was classifying later youth. And the Regional Institute for Social and Human Sciences in Asia and the Pacific, RUSHAP, they were classifying youth entrance 15 to 19 years, they are called entrance, and adulthood 20 to 24 years. So that was the classification of RUSHAP. And T.S. Saraswati, the age group as classified, famous and Indian author who has written Youth in India by her own book, a complete survey of the whole youth. And even that particular book today, it is very much relevant when you want to understand the young people. In the year 1988, years sub-junior, from 15 to 34 years is considered as youth. In that sub-junior, junior and senior, like that she was classifying there. In sports also this type of classifications are there. Junior, sub-junior, junior division, sub-junior division, we were playing, they may say, in that same context you can understand here. Sub-junior 15 to 19 years, and junior 20 to 24 years, senior 25 to 34 years. So 3 classifications he was giving there. And Chaudhary, Paul Chaudhary, in 1992, 15 to 24 years young, and 25 to 35 years young adults, which means in National Youth Policy 2003 and National Youth Policy earlier 1988, by the time the youth classification of India is 15 to 35 years. So therefore he has classified in the 2 divisions. And Paul Chaudhary again, he classifies the youth on the basis of their nature, on the basis of their nature or their characteristics, how they belong to. So he was classifying youth into on the basis of their education, on the basis of their education. So he considers student youth and non-student youth, and on the basis of their geographical region where they come from. So he classifies youth into rural youth, tribal youth, and urban youth. And now we can also classify people from semi-urban, that means ultra model, digital youth. We can see digital youth now recently, we can say. Employed and unemployed youth is there on the basis of their employment, their occupation, it has been classified. Affluent and economically poor youth. So again, on the basis of economical status, youth have been classified on affluent and economically poor youth. Industrial youth, so another one is based on their activity, industrial, laborious, their dynamic and industrial, very busy industrial youth. And now we can say the digital youth. And the young farmers youth, young farmers, so on the basis of the rural youth, that is the urbanized youth, we can say. And on the basis of males and female, on the basis of their gender, male youth and female youth. So these are all the further classifications Paul Chaudhary made it, which is to understand. So you are going to deal with student youth and tribal youth, rural youth, urban youth, and in that way it will be more useful. So what sort of characteristics they belong to, what they, and even male and female, this type of youth, you can even economically poor youth or affluent rich youth, you can see they deal with, come across. And in that way, again, another classification, let us see, that is some more United Nations Division of Social Development, Policy and Development, 13 to 19 years, like entrance. That is the earlier we have seen Rushap, what it said, the same way it was classified. And again, we can see some of other aspects, again, young adults 20 to 24. So United Nations definition starts from 14 to 24 years considered to be youth universally. And it varies from country to country, it varies from people to region to region. Even in Mizoram, I could say youth is not defined. OMA is defining youth up to 40 years, no. According to the cultural context, when you look at it, the dimensions of youth here, they say in Mizoram context, based all in tribal context also, Tlangwal, they use the term called Tlangwal, which means he is a youth. As long he is not married, he is considered to be a youth according to the Mizoram context, cultural context. So this is what, there is no unanimous definition. There is no, this is the definition. It varies from country to country. Sri Lanka, different definition. Even for XCY, Commonwealth Youth Program, they have their own definition. They have their own. Bangladesh, they have their own. Pakistan. So accordingly, it varies from, because so many factors are there. So let us see different dimensions of youth. Here, chronologically, a specific period or a stage of human life. It is chronologically a specific period of human life. That is what chronology means, you know very well. From the time, date of time, birth, from that we can say that it is a specific period. Youthhood is a specific time, specific period of a human lifespan, So that's what chronology, beginning, middle, end, like that. So psychologically, according to psychological dimension, the perspective, psychological perspective, a period of emotional instability and mental immaturity. So youth is a period of emotional instability. He is not stable. Sometimes, youth, vandalism, how vandalism takes place. Psychologically, he is not stable. If anybody instigates, immediately he will be emotional without what is the consequences, what is there. So that's what triggering something, immediately they will react it without knowing. That is because their energy is like that. They do not know the causes and consequences. Immediately they will go and indulge in a violent behavior or a very rough behavior, we could say. Mental immaturity. It is called a mental immaturity. It is not a maturity. That's what we have to understand. The hormones, like during that particular time, estrogen, progesterone, all these hormones are activated. Due to that, they may have this type of challenges, behavior. And sociological perspective, transitionals, it is a transitional stage. I told already, it's a transitional period between a dependent child and a self-dependent adulthood. That's what between a dependent child and self-dependent adulthood, people is not recognized at all. You can see the picture here. From the picture, you can see that he is now adult. He behaving like an adult, going with her girlfriend or a boyfriend accordingly. That is a sociological transition period. That is what taking place. And then we have another classification here: common understanding, common balance. Biologically, it is an age factor. Biologically, the able-bodied person, classes, training, corrective exercise can be done easily. We can make them. And physical, mind, and able body. Physical, mind, and able body. Strength. It is physically a mind and able body, strength, energy, good outlook. Physically, common understanding. Who is a youth? When we look at it, he is a mind-wise. He is energetic. He is a full able-bodied person. He is having a strength. He is having an energy. He is having a good outlook, a personality. So those things can be seen. Common understanding. Psychologically, common psychological perspective. Personality, it refers to the personality about the person. And culturally ascribed to biological. That's what I said. No, culturally ascribed biologically. Youth means cultural context is also there. And a social period in the life of a person wherein full adult status, roles, and functions are not accorded. So you see, in social perspective, it's a period in life of persons wherein a full adult status, role, or functions are not accorded. Say, for example, you can see in some of the functions, they won't give. You are still student. You won't give. They won't give fully recognized roles and functions. Whatever they give, you are immature. People socially also, they say it's a period of life of person wherein full adult status is not accorded at all. You have to grow still. That's what responsibilities are not given immediately to them. Let them learn, let them understand slowly. Even you can see in politics how the youth leader are struggling to get power from the older people. So immediately they won't give. Let them learn, let them have the understanding, complete understanding in such a way. And then we move on to the another slide. So we are coming to the close end of the concept, understanding the concept of youth. Macmillan English Dictionary 2007 adds that youth refers to the time in people's life when they are young or looking young. Generally, the term youth refers to a time of life that is neither childhood nor adulthood. We come to understand that he is neither a child nor an adult. He is neither a matured person or not completely prepared. That is what we understood from the thing. And conceptual understanding is, that is what for us youths, according to the various definitions, is a state of mind. It is a state of mind of being young, and young men or women. It is also not only it is a state of mind. That's what Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the former president of India, he always tells that youth is a mind. It's a state of mind. As long as you are young, if you think that I am young, it is also your youth. No energy. I'm now this much age. Some people say that when they introduce, I'm a 70 years old young man, they say. So which means it's also mind is also very much important factor, plays a vital role. So Hornby in 2000 defined It is the youth as the time of life when a person is young, especially the time before a child becomes an adult. It is also used to mean the quality or state of being young. State of being young. So it is a state of being young, state of mind state. So that's what definitions I said. Already I quoted everything. United Nations definition 1980, 14 to 24 years, and National Youth Policy 2014, 15 to 29 years. The recent National Youth Policy, now the drafted the youth policy has come 2020. I have gone through it, but there the definition is not that much change is there. Almost the same thing, some other components they have brought in, and Commonwealth Youth Program 16 to 29 years they have defined. These are all some of the various definitions in order to understand, to get a consensus conclusion. So now we have come to understand that what is puberty, different stages of youth, and it is a stress and storm of adolescence, and male and female, so they have a lot of gonotropic substance are coming up in their body. That is the reason lot of changes takes place, and their bodily, that's what their behavior is like, that stage of physical change and development from puberty, pre-adolescence, and adolescence. So three stages: puberty stage, pre-adolescence, before adolescence is also involved, and adolescence. He is a mixture of these three stages. That is my own definition. The combination of puberty, adolescence, and early adulthood, we can say that is what youth can be. In that, and then it is that's what stress and storm. They will be, sometimes there may be a stress, there will be internal and external changes also takes place, emotional development takes place to them, and period of stress and strain. So therefore utmost care has to be given for young people, especially in this digital era. After this COVID-19, lot of youth, they had a lot of mental health issues because of utmost care for a future generation we have to give. Therefore it is a bounden duty to understand regarding the youth. So now we move on to the important concepts today, their life. So now, what types of generation by youth, by age? So we have to understand different types of generation by youth, and now you know what generation you are going to deal with, which type of youth they belong to, and what is their characteristics. So according to certain international research has done, and they found out, classify types of generation by age. So generational names are given, time period is given, age ranges they have given, and the unit traits also they have given, unit characteristics. So here 5 generations, they have another one, you will see 7 generations classification also. So here this silent generation or traditionalists. So those who born from 1900 to 1945, those who are in now you can see 72 and below age, those who are below 72, they belong to this particular traditionalists. They are called traditionalists, no? And then they place importance on duty and loyalty. Those people, they always give. If you go and talk with those who are above 75 years or above 72 years, if you go and talk with those people, they will say, when I was working in my institution, my students are so good. These days they are not at all. They will tell, we are so punctual. Duty means duty for us. Loyalty, no corruption at all. These days they will start their own story. So those type of people, though they are silent, they won't talk. They consider they are traditionalists. Silent in the sense they won't talk, and in that meaning it is not there. The meaning is here. Those people are because of they give more importance for duty as well as for their loyalty to their work consciousness. So baby boomers, another one is second classification, baby boomers, born 1946 to 1964. Their age range from starts from 53 to 71. So those who are in the age group of 53 or 54 to 71, verge of retirement in central universities or in state universities, those who are all, they are called baby boomers right now when you calculate it. So self-worth, their traits, their characteristics is that self-worth is tied to career, and so they tend to be workaholics. You see that those people are so workaholic nowadays. No, you can't see workaholic people, very difficult. Even though a government or other forces insisting them, they won't be that much workaholic and that much perfectionist. Nowadays, just for, I am not generalizing, just to for certain sake they will do. And the third generation is called generation X generation. Shortly we can call it X generation. So I think currently I am in this particular category, born 1965 to 1976. So we are all in the X generation. 41 to the range, lowest age range from 41, the highest will be 52. Self-directed and motivated by a need for security. So those people, X generation, you can see that they are self-directed. They will go by themselves to get job. They will go and take initiatives. They will be self-motivated and they give more security. After getting job only we will get married. Otherwise I won't get married. That type of security they will think. I hope so. Even for my case also, as after getting my government job, then alone I got married. So that type of things will be there. And millennials, now you come to this millennials, we are dealing with this type of people here. They are called Y generations. Y generation students are called millennials. So who are they? Born from 1977 to 1995, in between 1977 and 1995. So those are the lowest stages, 22, the highest stage is 40. In between, you can now calculate about yourself, about the 25 participants are there in this online platform. I hope so. You have to, you can see this particular things in the that is how the classifications takes place and which age belong to. And in that way, typically confident. They are typically confident. They expect lots of feedback and rewards. Idealistically nurtured. So the idea, they are nurtured. We have to motivate them. We have to, now and then, now these Y generation students, when we go to the class, we have to motivate them now and then, whether they are studying or not. Then alone some impact will be there. Otherwise, no impact will be there. The X generation people, no need to tell, self-directed, self-motivated. So that is the reason we need certain techniques to deal with this type of youth. So we should get a feedback. We should go and inquire them. How are you? How are you doing? How you are studying? And how is your parents? What about you? Did you sleep well? All those things has to be taken care. And I generation, Z generation, that is called I generation, born 1996 and after, those who are born after 1996. So which means Z generation, they call it, 21 and above, below, 21 and below, very high on technology usage, realistic and entrepreneurially minded towards work. So that is the I generation. And that is what the classifications, you have to understand them. We should not blame them. Nowadays, the students are not studying and they are not at all this, they are in digital era. So we should not expect, as you were doing by the same level of understanding, same level of expectations, what you were a student by that time, you cannot expect those things, because the change is continuous, change is completely, they are not in our generation, their generation is entirely different. Therefore, friends, it is now time for us. Which generation are you? Which generation are you? You have to ask yourself, and which generation are the students belong to? Accordingly, you have to deal, and accordingly, you have to use your teaching skills, your teaching techniques, your teaching abilities, your teaching competencies. You have to go. You should not go your old method of teaching. That's what. So again, here, some of the things, again, furthermore understanding alpha generation. Alpha generation, this is from those who are born from 2013 to 2025, age still alive today. The oldest age is 5 years, and from first 1 year, they are called generation alpha generation, they call it. So these are all the things, I hope so. Millennials, then we are between in this millennials, I generation, generation alpha. So generation alpha may be in the school, they may be in the school, or they may be I generation, Z generation may be in the school, pre-university, whereas Y generation and X generation, mostly they were in the, currently they may be doing their own courses in the colleges or the universities or in their professional institutions. So that is what, so difference between, now we come to the teaching. the different methods of teaching. So I was talking about my own introduction I was giving, then I started my career, I said. So almost now it is 24 years over in teaching, from 1998, almost 24 years, which means near about 25 years, I could say. So with this little experience, I have started my career with a chalk piece with blackboard. So when those days, blackboard teaching is something, the students, they will come, we have to write, we have to wait for them. And then overhead projector, not this type of overhead projector. That light will be there. I still remember when I was taking my research methodology classes and all other things, I bought a thin plastic sheet, fly leaf like type, and then I wrote in a OHP pen, and then I wrote all those things, and then I will go on paste there, and I will keep it. Then that is the way I started. Then slowly what happened, the slowly computer started with floppy disk. We were using floppy disk, then we were using CD drive, and then CD disk, and then we slowly use pen drive. Now we are using pen drive. So now the technology, accordingly, now everyone, they use all their chips have come, integrated chips. So this is what teaching those days, only top method, that is either blackboard and giving lecture, and to some extent group discussion, that's all. Now there are so many innovations have come, but the attention of learning is really lacking among the students. So let us see the difference between the modern teaching and the traditional teaching method in order to understand some more clarity to why there is a need. It is the need of the hour, modern teaching methods and techniques to use it. If I follow the old methods, the students will not listen. We have to be more attractive. Nowadays, the listening capacity of the students are also very less. You can see all the video programs, anything, if you're going to make a video clip, anything, it will be not more than 6 minutes. People may not concentrate more than 6 minutes. Even sometimes if anybody sends a WhatsApp message to me, if any video messages, immediately if it is more than 1 hour, half an hour, immediately delete. Some people may not have time to watch everything. So you can see those differences. So let us see the traditional and modern teaching methods in order to highlight some of the things which you might have forgotten, or you may be learned. Some of them may not be used at all. So let us see the things here, traditional methods and modern methods. So here I put it in the tabular form. You can see the differences in terms of understanding, get the clarity regarding the traditional methods and modern methods of teaching. So, classroom are teacher centric. It is always, everything will be taking place. Now, because of technology, I'm not teaching in classroom now. I'm sitting in my own office, the desktop, with my friend, and then I'm giving a lecture. So which means it is outdated. Classrooms are being equipped with the technology, the modern method. And the chalk is prevalent. Is prevalent. At the same time, it is evaluations are being done at all stages. Nowadays, even if you see, when you see the Byju's and other technology way of teaching methods, they have adopted a lot of techniques, I could say. Immediately after that, there will be some quiz competition for them. Quiz program will be there. Evaluation, whether they have understood the concept thoroughly or not, immediately there will be a clock, and then quiz program, and accordingly from the this what is called chat box, immediately they will type it, yes, no, immediately. That is the way they are contacting. Even it is very faster. So advantages are there, very much advantages are there. And teachers are only knowledge dispenser, still not facilitator. So in the traditional method, they are only knowledge dispenser, just disseminating the knowledge, spreading the knowledge. I want to show those days, if you show more knowledge, there will be more respect will be there, and no facilitation. No facilitator job will be very less. Now modern teaching, mostly they call it, instead of teacher, they call it, I am a facilitator, I'm a mentor for this person. That is the way they use the terms. Crossover learning means cross-check with the modern technology and the traditional technology. That is the way they use it. And strictly organized and controlled classroom. Now in traditional method, strictly organized and controlled classroom. Classroom will be very controlled, the one-to-one. Now it is, say for example, around 25 participants are there. 25 participants means it will be very easy. When it is less than 20, it is easy for us to control, and we will have one-to-one interaction also. Now it is one-to-one interaction is possible, but there will be a separate doubt hour or separate clarification time. Accordingly, we will have a common discussion. That is the way it has changed. Focus more on an understanding of the concepts. Modern technology, now you can go use your audio, visual, everything will be there. That is the reason I brought audio. It's something because of technical error, certain things I could not make it. No group learning and problem solving sessions. So the group learning was very less. Problem solving sessions were also very less those days. And skill development, value development are put in most crucial phases. Usually in modern method of teaching, skill development and value development are put in most crucial places. Values. And also clearing examinations are more important than grasping knowledge. So you see those days, no traditional method. Now here clearing examinations means just they have to complete the syllabus, they have to do more and more. It is also here there in modern method also. Interactive whiteboard learning, even in Google Classroom or Zoom, we have our own interactive learning. Even we can use our own formula, whatever it is, immediately we can read. Such a high technology has developed. And interactive whiteboards. Homework based education. Homework based education was there. Collaborative learning was there in modern teaching. Now collaboratively. Absence of activity to sharpen the minds of students. And emphasis on practical knowledge more. Emphasis on practical modern. They give more assignments, more practicals. Flipped classroom. Flipped classroom. I had a video clipping. What is flipped classroom? It is a mixture of the old tradition and then the traditional method and modern method, and it is like a material has to be given in advance. The students may read it and come back. That is called flipped classroom method. Instead of opposite of traditional, teachers will come and teach them, give the materials in the class. No, it will be given materials in advance. You can send that one, let them read, then they will come and ask this clarifications. That is called flip the classroom. Activity based on game based learning, interactive and research based learning, use of internet and web, and also other type of modes which use of internet and web, and then problem solving, problem based learning, based on the problem based learning. These are all some of the things which we know the differences. And in that context, flipped classroom video, this is no time for us to, because it is not supporting. In that context, flipped classroom, shall we try to through online we can also see that for just one clip? Is it possible?
Professor Devendiran,
Yes, sir.
it's still black screen only. So why not you copy paste that link in the chat box so the participants may see it separately.
Okay.
I think some video adapter problem is there in the system.
Okay.
Or if you want, I can play a display from my computer if it works. The video also hang down. So your video is freezed. I think some internet related problems sir is having. He's trying to join. Yeah, I just had a talk with him. He's trying to join again. Some internet related issue is there. Meanwhile, there are some questions on video link for the lectures recording. So I will try to collect it from HRDC. Some editing required because recording is for 4 sessions, one go. So it is too big file to upload anywhere. So little editing required so that I have to do, then only I can upload and then only sharing of link is possible. It may take little time. So, but you will be getting almost all links for all the sessions. But you have to wait for a little bit of that. Meanwhile, if any one of you is having any question for Professor Devendiran, you may post it here. As soon as he joins, we can take up questions. Yeah, he's back.
Sorry for the interruption. It's because of technical error. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes, audible.
Okay, hereafter no video and all. I will see the link. Because of that, it happened. So now we move on to the earlier one. This is type of generation we discussed, and then difference between teaching, non-teaching. Then Flipkart class. Flipkart classroom video. I will give the video link. You can see afterwards. This is the link actually. And modern teaching is a time for change. Modern teaching is a time for change. So we have to change. We should not blame old method, same thing, all those things. That is what it is. One of the important things. We call it blended learning. Blended learning. Blended learning is the term given to the educational practice of combining digital learning tools with more traditional classroom face-to-face teaching. In a true blended learning environment, both the student and the teacher should be physically located in the same space. So this is what, all traditional method of teaching, all those things, we have to live it, unlearn it. Then we have to come to relearn it. So that is what happened nowadays in our department also. We had a online class, and then we had a smart board room, smart board classroom. So smart classroom board which we are using, suddenly what happened, once I was writing, suddenly I took the duster and started rubbing, which shows that I have to unlearn now. In my mind it is recorded, then we have to go and click the eraser, and then just to go and touch it, immediately it goes. So all those things, we should not tell that I am not good in communication technology, I'm having allergy. No, knowingly or unknowingly you have come to teaching profession. You have to learn, update yourself according to the technology. Not everything which is required for you, which is required for, that is the big aversion people are having nowadays. No, nothing wrong. All the technology is user friendly to us. Slowly, 1 or 2 times when we use it, automatically it will come. It is not any hard and fast rule that it is very difficult to learn. No, it is. I am not at all agree towards that. So in that, friends, so blended method. Now what I am doing, I am blending my traditional method and that is what we call virtual classroom. Through this virtual classroom, now virtually we are learning and blending, mixing. Blending is almost mixing the thing, blend. When you are going to make a omelette, you have to blend nicely with all one omelette. If you are making, means you have to put many things, and then you have to blend it, then you have to make. Same way, use blending method. Even research also we are using blending method, mixing of qualitative and quantitative research methods, mixing of traditional and modern teaching aids, and make the students to aware, make the student to be attractive, make the student to be boring, not to be bored. Nowadays, children are very much, if you tell 2 times repeatedly, they are getting angry. I still remember nowadays my own son, he never agrees that why you keep on telling the same thing. The next generation people, we will tell 2 or 3 times only. For this Z generation or Alpha generation, 1 time enough. So don't repeat it, and they will get angry also. Not our own. We have a lot of patience. So those days we don't. Nowadays they are not at all having patience, and they are dealing with digital technology, with electronic gadgets. They have no feelings, emotions and all. They won't give respect at all. We give more in that. Learning is more. We have to teach them the values, the emotions, because it's not like just a thing. So blended learning is not a mere mix of online and face-to-face mode, but it refers to a well-planned combination of meaningful activities in both the modes. The blended demands consideration of several factors, mainly focusing on learning outcomes and the learner-centered instructional environment. So that is the reason I was using the video, and then you can see, then we will have our own reflection, we will have our own feedback. What is flipped classroom, what is a blended classroom, and you can go to the, nowadays in your technology has provided a lot, that we cannot say there is a breadth of information. There is a surplus of information. We have to dig out which is the right information for us, which is very much needed for me, which is relevant for us. That is the thing we have to learn. I have to, because we had almost 5 minutes break was there. That's what I'm keeping going. And then at least 5 minutes or 10 minutes break is to be 10 minutes time given for discussion also. So that's what I'm rushing, please. Blended classroom learning video is also there. You can see it, recent following benefits of blended learning. I want to, this research has been said even in NEP 2020 also very much focusing on this. They are, because according to the technology we have to adhere, it is very much highlighting, emphasis is given on this type of blended learning. That's what MOOC platform, Swayam platform, there will be a separate lecture on this. I don't want to dwell in that particular aspects. Just these are all the tools and techniques we can use, which is available freely to us. That's what I would like to highlight you. Opportunities for collaboration at a distance education. So that is what it is. It gives a lot of opportunity at a distance. So now we are connecting, we may be in some corner, but we are connecting through this. Increased flexibility, because today during the COVID-19, if something is better than nothing, if there is no this mobile system technology, everything will be hampered. So it is better, I could say. So increased flexibility is increased now. You can want to conduct meeting at any time, you can conduct online mode, depending upon the availability of the person, whose presence is needed. Accordingly, we can have. But slowly, initial stage will be very difficult for us to sit in front of the machine and listening. And slowly we will adapt it to it, and then it will. That's what the research says. Increased interaction, you can get interaction is also possible. People say that no interaction is possible when you involve, when you have a love to learn, when you have a happiness to enjoy it. And if you enjoy and learn, definitely there will be increased interaction will be there. Enhanced learning will be more. I learned a lot of things. I should say thanks to this HRDC for giving this lecture. They have given a good freedom for me to choose your own topic in that particular way, how it could be incorporated in my teaching. In that way, it gives enhanced my learning also. Some of the platforms which I'm going to tell you, it may be learning to be a virtual citizens. Now we are learning through virtual citizens, and the source, this is taken from New Delhi UGC curriculum only. UGC curriculum has given. So these are all the things most used method of learning management, LMS system. We are using this LMS system because of this only taking in, and that's what Moodle, open source, these are all. So these things I don't want to tell you. So I will give the PPT, and you can also see everything is available. Nothing I'm giving, I'm putting in a right manner and telling you, friends, how to use this particular resources. Everything is abundant. We have to use it appropriately for our context wise. That is what the particular skill we have to learn. Because I could say in a Google platform, in a Google, there are a lot of garbage is there. We have to find out which is the best for us. Garbage of information or package of information is there. Which pack is the best for us? So we have to take the capsule of it. That is what I come to understand. And so these things you can read it. And another slide, next we'll go to the next slide, and another 2 more slides are the 5 skills the next generation we need for success. So these are finally, now we have come to the skills. What are the 5 skills needed for the next generation? Which those who are maybe X generation or Y generation or a Z generation, or so accordingly you see here, critical thinking is very, very essential. Nowadays students are not that much critical. So critical thinking, what are the pros and cons? So what are the advantages of internet learning? What are the disadvantages of there will not, each and every coin is having 2 sides. We have to take which side is better, which side is good for us. Accordingly, you have to take it. That particular thinking, critical thinking in terms of education, in terms of what the knowledge, what they're getting, how it could be used. That is very, very important. Students, especially in Mizoram, when we ask questions, critically examine the today's national youth policy. If anybody is asking, critically they won't, what is there, they will read it and they will reproduce it. That is not the way of educating friends. So this particular skill has to be, even life skills also, this critical thinking is quite relevant there. Not only in life skills, even in education, very, very, very essential for today's important skills for the next generation, alpha generation, whatever may be. It is an adaptability. We have to adapt to situations. You should not be rigid at all. This is a very important skill I learned. If I follow the old pattern of thinking, old pattern of teaching, people will not, the students will not listen at all. Their mindset is completely different. Therefore, we have to adapt the situation. Adaptability is very, very important according to this today's context, today's culture, today's need of the youth. Today, the need of the hour is that adaptability. Always blaming, no blaming at all. Accept it. You have to accept and you have to go it. Finally, blaming, you will become, you won't do your duty. That is what. And excellent communication skills are needed. Now, you know, you have a lot of apps are there. You can develop your communication skills freely. So much of, you can Instagram, if you go now, people are talking about different communication skills and even language skills and all other things they are telling. Even it has become a business. People are having their own business attitude towards this. And excellent communication you can develop. Every day you can listen certain things people are keep on putting in order to get their popularity, all those things. But identify which is the best for you and use this communication skills and appropriately develop this. In communication is a very, very important aspect. Without language, without anything, you want to communicate effectively, your body language, your skills, 80% of the language, body language, can communicate to you how you can use body languages effectively. You can see all those things. So many things there for a teacher. When you are going to the students, you have to greet them. You have to greet them properly, and you have to wish them. When you're taking attendance also, you call by name. It may be a time consuming for you. Maybe if 100 people are there, I may not call. At least once in a week you call their name. Then they are not mere numbers to you. Some of the teachers, they take attendance like 1 is present, 2 is present, 3. No, call by name. They are not mere numbers, they are persons for us. So those things we should keep in our mind. Apart from that, we should have cultural understanding. Is very important. In the context of cultural understanding, we have to see sometimes, you know, when you're dealing with the youth, tribal youth, a person comes from a very different socioeconomic background, you have to understand. Just like that, we cannot throw words to them. So that is what, otherwise abusing words physically or even for instance verbally also, we should not abuse them. Be kind with them and understand the situation. Call, if a person comes to the class, if a person is aloof, if he is alone sitting, he is not smiling, pay attention to that person. Why he is not talking nowadays? Why did he sleep well, or what happened in his family? Something maybe happened in a family. That is the reason he is not talking. He is not active in the class. So those things, that is the role of a facilitator when you are taking a class. So online class, no, in online class also, give some assignments, how he responds. Accordingly, we can do. There are ways and means are there. So that is what interactive and derive is there. Initiative and derive. You have to take a lot of initiatives accordingly. And now it's the time for you to have a clarification based on this. We have seen in this particular session, right from the beginning, the 4 objectives to understand the concept of youth, and then different types of youth, and why we have to understand why he behaves like this. And ultimately, he is neither a child nor an adult. And we have also seen the youth in different generations, which generation he belong to, how we have to deal with them, and why he is behaving. It is the bounded duty. We have to not to blame the students. We have to make the students to learn, and it is a mutual process. That way, I conclude here. Time is also up. I hope now at least 2 or 3 questions or 1 or 2 questions, then only we can wind up. And my over to Professor Batandu.
Thank you, sir, for a nice presentation. Although some interruptions happened because of some technical issues, but overall the session was a joyful ride. So far, I am not seeing any question in the chat box. Dear participants, if you are having any question for Professor Devendiran, just put it in the chat box. No questions, it seems, sir.
So it seems that they have understood very well. I hope so.
Yes, yes.
Fine, sir.
You
Thank you so
explained the
much.
concept very well.
Thank you so much, sir, for your compliments.
And all praises are there in the chat box, but no question.
I hope even in online there is no lunchtime. They may be hungry. I hope so.
Yes.
That may be one of the reasons they may maybe not asked questions. Anyhow, thank you so much, all the participants.
Thanks.
And thank you once again to all the organizers, right from the Vice Chancellor and then the Deputy Director, coordinators. Thank you so much for giving this wonderful time.
Thank you, sir. And on behalf of all the participants and HRDC, I want to say thanks to you for sparing your time and sharing with us some very relevant things. So